It's officially November. The Fall Classic is back and in full swing. The series is tied 1-1 and back in Philly. Welcome back to Penn State Sports Night. I'm Nico Rodriguez, joined alongside Brendan Conroy and Matt McLaughlin. So far, the Phillies won Game 1 and the Astros won Game 2. Fellas, let's talk what-ifs for Game 3. What if the Astros win? What happens next? Matt, let's start with you.
Well, if the Astros win, it's going to be tough for the Phillies to climb back into this series because if the Astros can win without McCullers, Valdez, or Verlander, on the mound, that is going to be a really uphill battle for the Phillies offense moving forward. Can they get it done? Absolutely. Anything's possible in the World Series. Come November, anything can happen. But the Astros put themselves in prime position to just win those next two games at home, and I think that sets them up nicely. Even if they drop the next two games in Philly, I think they could still rebound back in their hometown of H-Town.
Yeah, I think Houston, when they're at home, they're definitely their strongest, but they're coming to Philly now. As we've seen, Citizens Bank Park gives the Phillies one of the most home field advantages we've seen in playoffs and in a long time. They are dominant at home, and they don't lose much. So if Houston is able to get this win, or any win for that matter, at Citizens Bank Park, that'll put them in a good position, but I don't know if they still win it all. Philly has two more games after Game 3 at home, and if they go back to Houston, they still won a game on the road, Game 1. So who knows? I think they're strong enough at home where if Game 3 is a loss for them and Houston is able to win, it doesn't really determine the whole entire series because a 2-1 lead isn't as crazy as a 3-1 lead would be.
I think if you're Philly, this next game's a must-win. You do not want to be down and have to face Verlander and Valdez sooner than you have to now because of the rain out. But let's talk what if Philly wins, what happens next. Conroy?
I think if Philly wins, they still need that cushion, though. That is the biggest thing we have to keep in mind. If Philly wins, you can't play Dancing on My Own full blast right away. You might have to wait a game or two. As Kobe would say, job is not finished. A 2-1 lead, sure, it's great, and sure, you still have those two games at home. It's the World Series. Just because it is home, you still have to prove that you can win at home. If they can win Game 3, a 2-1 lead with two more games at Citizens Bank Park, I'm not saying they necessarily finish it all and there's a World Series celebration in Philadelphia, but it gives them a much better shot going into Houston, say they get a 3-2 lead, to finish out the World Series and maybe walk away with the win. I think if they win Game 3, they can do it. There's just emphasis on that cushion and those insurance wins that they're going to need.
Yeah, if the Phillies win Game 3, that is huge because this team is all about momentum and mental strength. This season has been a whirlwind of emotions. Their manager gets fired halfway through the year. Harper gets injured for multiple months on end. But if they win a Game 3, Syndergaard's starting, so it's likely going to be a bullpen Game 2. If they can win without Nola and Wheeler on the mound, that is massive for this team's self-confidence. And Bryce Harper is playing out of his mind. He is not lacking on any confidence by stretch of the imagination, but he's also leading guys like JT Realmuto, Kyle Schwarber. Some of these guys, Rhys Hoskins has revitalized his public image in the city of Philadelphia with this postseason. And so if they can capture that momentum, get a Game 3 win, I think that is a much bigger boost than, say, if the Astros win, just because it means so much more. The Astros, we've seen them go through the AL like it's a buzzsaw, but for the Phillies, it's all about riding momentum and building confidence going into the next game.
That's going to do it for this edition of Penn State Sports Night. For Brendan Conroy and Matt McLaughlin, I'm Nico Rodriguez. Have a good night.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night. We hope you liked that segment.
And we're sure there's other Penn State Sports Night segments that you are going to love as well. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content.
And check us out on social media for updates and behind-the-scenes clips and pics. Follow us on Twitter at PSSN TV and on Instagram at PSU Sports Night to keep up with all the action.
For all of us here at the Belisari Media Center, we are
Penn State Sports Night.